So I know I didn't show up for work the last 2 days as far as the daily vlogging channel goes, but I did show up for work in other ways. I've been really working my ass off, and I have a new video ready for you. I thought I was supposed to, it's a collab. I thought we were posting tomorrow, but apparently we're not. There was miscommunication. We're actually posting next Thursday, which is totally fine. I don't mind. But so it's all ready, because I just worked my butt off, so I was ready to have a main channel video for you on Sunday and then Thursday. So I've been working my hiney off. Hopefully Grace and I are going to France tomorrow. So that's a thing. I don't think we're going to have a meetup. Maybe if you follow us on Twitter, we might randomly tweet like, we're in under the Eiffel Tower if you are also here. And then we can hang out. But we're going with Grace's mom, so I don't know if I want to overwhelm Grace's mom with a meetup, especially when she doesn't, I don't know how much about YouTube culture she knows. I feel like it could be very scary to be thrown into this whole, like, club or group of people who are younger than you. I would imagine everybody who showed up would be around my age, and then just to, like, not be in the know. So that's kind of the reason I don't think we're having a meetup, because if I were in her shoes, I think that'd be a little, I don't know how into it I would be. So sorry that we're not having a meetup. I did have a meetup once in Paris. It was like one of the best days of my life. It was so cool. So hopefully we come back to France and do have another meetup, because I love France. Anyway, so I'm waiting for my hair to dry because I'm going to go to the store. I'm doing some secret things, guys. Look at I'm waiting for my hair to dry, and then I'm going to the store. So while I do that, I'm going to talk about something. So for the first time ever, so I have a question for you. If you just saw me on the street, I'd probably be wearing a snapback, or a beanie, or maybe not. I probably wouldn't be wearing a bow tie. I only wear bow ties, like, in real life. I always wear bow ties when we're going out and being fancy, so that's an always. But we don't always go out and be fancy, so I probably only wear bow ties, like, maybe twice a month? Maybe 3 times. It depends. It can range anywhere from, like, once to 5 times a month. So I probably wouldn't have a bow tie on, so I wouldn't look that gay. But I probably would have, like, see, today I'm going to wear this, and then a gray beanie, and jeans, and probably Converse, like a little punk. So if I were wearing that, and you just saw me in Target, like, browsing, would you think I was straight or gay? And I don't want you to reply with any of those bullshit answers, like, I don't really think about people's sexual orientation. I want you, if you had to pick one, if somebody, like, if you had to assume, maybe not straight or gay, because that, like, feeds into a binary, but, like, if somebody was like, you have to assume what that girl's sexuality is, what do you assume it is? What would you assume? Because Grace told me yesterday that now that I have short hair, well, I actually asked, this wasn't just, like, unsolicited, like, perception, I asked, because it was brought up to the something, I think we were talking about gender or whatever, and, like, how we were perceived, and then something was brought up how she's perceived gay, and I was like, and then I asked, I was like, am I perceived gay? Because I was never perceived gay before I cut my hair, and I was like, I didn't really think about it. I feel like I still don't, I feel like there's, I don't know. And she was like, oh yeah, honey, you're definitely perceived gay. And I was like, what? I never really thought about it. I guess I knew that once I cut my hair, I would be more likely to be perceived as gay. But, like, is it just, like, that obvious? Do you just see me and you just assume gay? Is that, I don't know what, maybe this is so, I don't know why this blew my mind that much. Maybe it's because I've gone my whole 24 years of life, was it 24? No, 23. 23 years of life, because I'm 24, but I didn't cut my hair. I cut my hair before I turned 24. I went 23 years of life being very, like, always perceived as straight, just like, if people had to assume my sexuality based on my looks and nothing else about me, I would be perceived straight. And so I guess it was the first moment that I was like, holy crap, did it flip now? Am I only seen as gay? Anyway, so I just want I don't want you to worry about being politically correct. I'm giving you permission to make assumptions about me. I'm not going to get offended, unless they're, like, super outright disrespectful, but I'm not going to get offended. I want you to, I just want to know. I want some third-party perspective of how I'm seen. If you saw me, this would be me, just like this, with a beanie probably. Maybe not, I might take off the beanie, I might be hot, but just like this. Would you assume I was gay? That's question 1. If you had to assume, don't write, I don't assume anything. I don't, that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking if you had to assume, would you assume I was gay? Would you assume, if you had to assume, what would you assume my sexuality was? If you had to assume, that's question 1. And question 2 is, how often do you find yourself unconsciously assuming people's sexualities? This is the part where you can be like, I never assume people's sexualities, which is totally fine. Because I think that a lot of times, though, we do. It's an unconscious thing, and it's a thing that we've just been conditioned to do, and we can definitely consciously try to challenge that, which is great. And we can try to unlearn that behavior that we have definitely learned because it's conditioned. And one of the best ways to do that is acknowledging that we do have this learned behavior, and we'll try to ask ourselves why, where does it come from, and kind of deconstruct it. And then over time, slowly, we might actually not unconsciously assume anything about people's sexualities based on the way that they look. So I will admit that sometimes, yes, I do unconsciously assume things about people's sexualities. But it doesn't happen very often, and I definitely really try hard not to. And if I do, and almost always if I do assume someone's sexuality based on the way they look, I almost always challenge that to myself. I almost always notice, and I'm like, oh, you just think she's gay, Ashley. Like, what makes you think that? You don't know yet. Remember that. So those are the 2 questions. 1, how is my sexuality perceived only based on my looks? I'm not going to get offended. And 2, do you unconsciously assume people's sexualities just based on the way they look ever? And if so, how often? And question 3, if you do, how do you challenge yourself to not do that? That's a lot of questions. Anyway, I think and also, another question. Oh my gosh! Also, has this ever happened to you? Did you ever go through a big change and then the way people perceived you flipped and you were like, no way! I've never been perceived this way before. This is new. And it's so weird because, okay, I'm going to keep talking. I don't care. I have just more to say about it. I was like about to ready to end the vlog, but I'm not going to because I remember this is like one of the things I really wanted to say. I remember I was so like offended when I heard that. Not because I'm offended that people would know I'm gay or think I'm gay, but because when I had long hair, I would tell everyone I was like gay. I'm bi or pan. I'm just using the word gay. Because it's a word I like to use. I think of it as an umbrella word. It's kind of like queer. So nobody in the comments be like, I thought you were pan. I'm pan. But I'm just using gay today. I don't know why. I just feeling it. So, but when I had long hair, I would tell everyone that I was gay. I would just like work it into conversations. Like if you didn't know me, I'd be like, I would totally drop my like Grace's name and my fiance and her pronouns and blah 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 blah. If they asked me what I did, I would be like, I run a blog, and they'd be like, what's your blog about? And I would be like, LGBT education. I would just like work it in there. I just loved telling people I was gay. Just loved it. And I still do the same now. But I think that what's offensive is that, to me, or that when people assume that I'm gay, is that it takes away my agency of being able to tell them. It's like, don't just assume I might be straight. Like, you don't know. I hate the assumption. But, yeah. It just takes away my, like, the agency that I have over what people know about me. Like, I'm happy that you know I'm gay, but don't assume it. And I think before I was in this position, if somebody told me, like, if they had short hair and I had long hair, and they had short hair and they said to me, everyone just assumes I'm gay, and they were gay, everyone just assumes I'm gay, and it's frustrating, I think I would look at them ignorantly with my long hair and be like, oh my gosh, I would love that. I tell everyone I'm gay. So if they all just assumed I was gay, that'd be great. Like, I don't see the problem. I mean, I'd probably do it more empathetically. But now that I'm in that situation, I'm like, no, it surprisingly is frustrating having people assume. Don't assume. That's so presumptuous. Like, that's what gets me, is it's so presumptuous. It's like, you don't know. Also, I'm not gay, because a lot of people do then just assume I'm gay. I'm not gay, so you actually don't know. Blah. And then I would probably say something like, I'm bi, if I was like, don't assume my sexuality, I'm not gay, I'm bi, and they'd be like, oh, close enough. And I'd be like, not close enough, they're different. Anyway, this was just a weird moment that I had. Hopefully I'm in France tomorrow.